for Carrington. It's dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to round 3 of the Legacy Sports Car Series. Today, we're at the virtual Lime Rock Park. Looking forward to another great race amongst our competitors. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James Eastbury. The action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, our competitors are going to go out for their open qualifying session here today. And it's guaranteed to be another great race as always. Again, thank you to our friends over at Ledford Construction for sponsoring this season. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do as we've got 13 drivers making their way out in open qualifying. We've got LMP2s, we've got GT1s, Daytona prototypes, and GT3s all well represented here today. And I've got to say, I am excited to see what we're going to happen as we watch Jack Mundy in his LMP2 make his way out on his outlap here today. Seeing what times he can put down. We've got a 15-minute open qualifying followed by our 45-minute feature event. And you've also got to keep an eye on Jacob Money in the LMP2. He was our overall winner last week at Sebring. Going to be interesting to see if he can bring home another dominant performance here today. In practice, Lafferty was our fastest LMP2. He has not made his way out onto the circuit yet. As we've got about 7 LMP2s, 3 Daytona prototypes, a pair of GT3s, and Connolly representing the GT1 class all in his lonesome here today. Not sure if anybody else is going to show up for that class or not. Connolly been rolling in solo for a little while. Monday, his opening lap was a 45.6. Let's see what he does on his second lap of the day. Always a good time here at the Legacy Sports Car Series. Free to run, cheap cars, very popular tracks, and a lot of good racing. Some guys use this as a feeder series to get a little bit more used to multi-class racing in a safe environment. And some guys are out here chasing glory, trying to put down the best times they possibly can. Money, a bit of a bobble. Able to hold on to it, though. Let's see if he's going to be able to improve on that 45.6. Because right now, pole is owned by Finley Fitzsimmons for the Honda LMP2s, clicking off a 45-second flat time. Monday's going to be about a half second off the pace here. I've got to say, a beautiful circuit here at Lime Rock, one of my favorite tracks to drive on when I have the opportunity. As Mundy makes his way around the last set of sweepers, let's see what he does crossing the line, if he will improve on that 45.6. He does not that time. The bobble costing him a little bit of time. We're going to check on Dayton Lowe in the number 5 machine, see what he's up to on track in his LMP2. As he wicks it through the chicane. Right behind him, that's going to be Jason Connolly in the number 66 machine. Lowe may have gotten off track there, pushing a little bit wide in the LMP2. Lowe with a 45-second flat time. He's almost 0.2 off the pace from Fitzsimmons here early on. Connolly, our fastest GT1 driver. Forsey, the fastest the Daytona prototype driver. And Mcallister, the fastest GT3 driver. Mcallister in GT3, he's in the Ferrari, while Connor Brown is in the Ford GT3 here today. And you may be asking yourself at home, why do they call it the Legacy Sports Car Series? They exclusively use it's mostly legacy cars here on the iRacing service, which are usually about $3 to $4 tops. So a good inexpensive way to drive some fast cars and have a lot of fun. Lowe, the fastest LMP2 driver of the day, his last time by a 44.64. Now he will be 2/10 ahead of Fitzsimmons. Let's check on our favorite Aussie, Gareth Mcallister, see what he's up to in his Ferrari GT3. As he carefully navigates the chicane. I've got to say, this might be one of the prettiest track and car combinations we've had the pleasure of broadcasting. It looks absolutely beautiful out here today. Mcallister with the anime painted Ferrari, but we love him anyway. Let's see what his time is as he crosses the line. 51.18. He's about 2/10 off his fastest lap of the race, or qualifying so far. And he's got a LMP2 driver breathing down his neck. I wonder if that was Scroggins. No. That was Fitzsimmons, who had a bit of a bobble. As we check in on Connor Brown, the pilot of the number 45 Ford GT3. Connor's fastest lap so far was a 52.58. He's about 1.5 seconds off of his friend, teammate, and fellow GT3 competitor, Mcallister. Pretty healthy grid here today. 13 drivers making their way out for the Legacy Sports Car Series. And then Brown will pull back into pit lane, taking the quick way back in. We've got Austin Lafferty in number 58, LMP2. I'm not sure if we've seen Lafferty here before. This may be the first time he's represented himself at Legacy Sports Car Series. Lafferty puts down a 46.66 as his fastest lap time, just behind Carrington, number 9 machine. Speaking of Carrington, let's take a look over at our favorite ARCA and road racer, Casey Carrington in the number 9. And Carrington will come down pit road, still chasing a faster time than a 46.10. Jack Mundy also out on track here today. He's our current third fastest LMP2 driver. And a big bobble locks it up. Unfortunately goes off grass. He'll take a tow back to pit road. Jason Connolly still out on track, clicking off laps. His fastest so far, a 48.47. And we still have a few drivers that have not put down times yet. Jacob Money, Cody Ledford, Carol Estelle still not putting down times yet. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see if they get out on track. And let's see if Connolly's going to be able to improve on a 48.47. Connolly pushes it a little bit far, tags that outside wall, and he's going to take a tow back. Heavy damage on the 66, but thankfully we're in qualifying where that's not quite too important. We check back in on Carrington, the number 9 machine. He's our 5th fastest LMP2 driver so far here today. Good to see so many LMP2s out here today. I don't think it's the biggest grid we've had so far this season, but it's definitely a healthy grid of competitors here today. The series still slowly growing and progressing. As we've only got a few short minutes left in qualifying. And let's see, Carrington still chasing a faster lap time than a 46.03. Let's see if he can get it here. And I've got to say, I love watching these LMP2s flick it through the chicane here. I do wish they were running the jump, but unfortunately these guys have to slow the pace down somewhere, because if they have any crashes in the uphill, it is usually spectacular. All eyes are on Carrington now to see if he's going to be able to pass Austin Lafferty's number 58 machine here in qualifying. May be able to pick up a tow from Carrington, may be able to pick up a tow here. Carrington with a 46.10 that last time by, still not able to improve on his personal best. And he's only got a couple of laps left to try and make something happen. And I don't think this will be the lap for Carrington, as we see a pretty big off track in his LMP2. And he knows it as well. He's going to come back down pit road, absolutely destroying the entry cone and taking a repair. We're going to check back in on Connolly and the GT1, see what he's up to. His fastest lap time. Oh, he bends it hard. Coming on the start-finish line straight. I think that was Fitzsimmons in the number 6 who's able to get around. Fitzsimmons currently our second fastest Honda LMP2. He's only 200ths off the pace from Dayton Lowe. 30 seconds left in qualifying here today. Then these guys will have enough time to complete their final lap if they're already out on track. Fitzsimmons able to make it happen though with a 44.63. Now he's only 100th of a second faster than Lowe in qualifying. Able to make it happen here at the end. The checkered flag will fly for qualifying. So it appears that Fitzsimmons will be starting on pole here. He may try to squeeze down one more lap as he's on a flyer. And no, he will come down pit road. Let's see if anybody else is out on track. Carrington's still out on track in his Honda LMP2. And that will do it for qualifying, as we're going to get our drivers briefed from race control, and then we're going to put them out on track. Let's take a quick look and see what the grid order is going to be here today. Starting on pole, the fastest Honda LMP2, Finley Fitzsimmons. Dayton Lowe starting second. Jack Mundy in the number 14 starting third. Austin Lafferty in the number 58 will be starting fourth. Casey Carrington in the number 9 starting fifth out of our LMP2s. Jason Connolly with the GT1 starting 6th in the number 66 machine. Jack Forsey in the Daytona prototype starting 7th in the number 74. Gareth Mcallister, our GT3 fastest driver, in the number 25 starting 8th. Devin Scroggins in the Daytona prototype starting 9th in the number 99 machine. Connor Brown with GT3 starting 10th in the number 45. Jacob Money starting 11th in the Honda LMP2 and the number 24 machine. Carol Steele, another Daytona prototype driver, starting 12th in the number 69. We'll cycle it back just one spot where we've got Cody Mars Ledford in the number 3. He'll be starting 13th on tonight's grid as we get ready to get this party started. And we'll keep an eye on Fitzsimmons and Lowe, our two fastest LMP2 drivers here at the beginning. As it looks like Fitzsimmons has a bit of a blink there. Maybe forgetting to turn off his qualifying setup. Coming back out here with race trim. We're going to do one lap behind our iRacing safety car and get them back out on track. And get ready for the 45-minute feature event here today at the Legacy Sports Cars Series. A pretty healthy grid. Jacob Money, Cody Ledford did not make it out onto the grid, as well as Carolus Thiel, the Daytona prototype driver. So that is going to limit our field to 5 LMP2s, 2 Daytona prototypes, 1 GT1, and a pair of GT3 drivers out here today. As the safety car will be diving in this time by, we'll send our competitors out. And let's see what's going to happen, as you've got 2 very fast drivers on the front row, Fitzsimmons and Lowe. Fitzsimmons with a spectacular launch, getting ahead of Lowe. You've also got Jack Mundy, Carrington, Lafferty all in the mix here. But we've made it through turn 1 fine. That's a pretty good start. Let's see what happens as they get ready to head through the chicane here. These guys are coming out on relatively cold tires and high downforce machines. Fitzsimmons still out front by about a second. Dayton Lowe running second out on track. Jack Mundy third, Carrington fourth. Lafferty rounds out our top 5. Right now it's Forsey leading the Daytona prototype drivers. He's got about a 2-second gap over Devin Scroggins in the number 99 machine. Didn't see Scroggins put down a qualifying here today in his Yoo-Hoo back to car. But Fitzsimmons also up front has a moment, goes off track, able to hold on to it. That's going to allow Dayton Lowe to get back within striking distance here early on. Now what we've seen in the past is these races are usually won on consistency, more so than raw speed. As Carrington also has an off track. Fitzsimmons with a 45.76 on his fastest lap of the day. Dayton Lowe close in tow with a 45.78. Gareth Mcallister leading our GT3 drivers is catching up to Scroggins in the number 99, using the draft of the faster car to propel his way into turn 1. Scroggins will yield the line uncontested, not wanting to involve himself with a different class driver. Bit of a lockup it looked like there from Scroggins in the Yoo-Hoo painted Daytona prototype, but no worries so far. You've got Jason Connolly. He's starting to pressure the current fastest Daytona prototype driver of Jack Forsey. Forsey in the number 74 machine, Connolly in the 66. 2 different class drivers, but you've got to navigate a whole lot of traffic here at Lime Rock, and it's very interesting. Some of the quote-unquote slower cars are very equally paced. The Daytona prototypes, the GT1s, running almost the identical times. Here it is. Forsey looked like he was going to try and give the line to Conley. Right as Connolly looked to the inside line for a pass, so almost contact between the fastest GT1 and the fastest Daytona prototype driver. Both guys able to hold on to it, thankfully. Up front overall and in the LMP2s, it's still Fitzsimmons, but Dayton Lowe is finding some speed here. That last lap by, he's about 1/10 faster. Let's see what it is here at the line. Fitzsimmons with a 45.26, Lowe with a 45.28. So Lowe is getting closer and closer as the race progresses. Jason Connolly, Jack Forsey still relatively close as well, but this is the closest battle on track as your overall race leaders, as well leaders of the Honda LMP2 class. Finley, Fitzsimmons, Dayton Lowe still running about within half a second each of each other around the circuit. That last time by, they clicked off almost identical lap times. And man, these guys are so equally paced, it's hard to see if and where Lowe may have an advantage. He gains a little bit of time going into the chicane. And it looks like Lowe may be running maybe a little bit more downforce here today. It's an open setup league. We'll keep an eye on that relative as they come onto the start-finish line straight, and they will already have traffic to play with on lap 7. As they're going to be catching up to, I believe that's going to be Scroggins and Connor Brown. Scroggins second in class in the Daytona Prototypes. Brown second in class with the GT3s. Brown quickly yields the line as best as he can. This is a very tight track for multi-class racing. Fitzsimmons and Lowe both get around relatively easily. Carrington has a crash. He returns back to pit lane. And our two Honda LMP2 drivers get through nice and clear. Let's take a quick look and see what happened to Carrington to involve his tow back to pit lane. As we take our slow motion replay to see what happened to Carrington. Not sure if he touched some grass there that may have upset the car. And let's see what happened to ruin Carrington's evening. Pushes wide. Gets heavily on the grass while still putting the power down. That's going to send Carrington careening around in the number 9 machine under the bridge. A massive hit for the Honda LMP2 driver as he gets pinballed across the track. I believe that's going to be Lafferty right in tow. Sees the caution come out from our flag stand. Carrington does a great job grabbing the brakes, and that will allow Lafferty to grab a free position in the number 58 machine. Up front, it is still Fitzsimmons and Lowe able to navigate traffic cleanly, not having any issues amongst themselves. They got around Scroggins and Brown without any big worries. Oh no, who was that? That was Mcallister, goes off track in front of the race leaders. The leader of the GT3s has a big moment as now he's going to be finding himself involved in traffic. Here comes Devin Scroggins. Hopefully not too much damage on the front end of Mcallister's Ferrari. He still has a comfortable gap, about 2 seconds over Connor Brown, but that is going to cost Mcallister a whole lot of time. And I think Fitzsimmons has a moment. Fitzsimmons spins it around as well. Your race leader has thrown it away. That will allow Dayton Lowe to take over the race lead. Jack Mundy moves to second. Fitzsimmons is going to have a lot of work to do here if he's going to try to catch up. Fitzsimmons is going to have a lot of work to do as he's now about 11 seconds behind your race leader, Dayton Lowe. Dayton Lowe comfortably ahead here. Austin Lafferty in the number 58 Honda LMP2. He also has an off-track bobble. Gets it back, pointing in the right direction. Did not register as a crash. As our overall race leader and LMP2 class leader, he's going to catch up on traffic once more. I believe that's going to be Brown in the number 45 GT3. Brown, one of two Aussies out here today racing at Lime Rock. Dayton Lowe gets around. No, that's going to be Forsey in the number 74 Daytona Prototype going a lap down. Now it's only 5 drivers on the lead lap. It's Lowe, Mundy, Fitzsimmons, Lafferty, and Connolly. Fitzsimmons has another off track. Maybe trying to pit. I'm not sure what happened there, if he spun it in the final section. But this is what we talked about early in the broadcast. These races are won or lost on consistency. As now Connolly will try and get around. I believe that's going to be Brown in the number 45 machine. Yes, it is. Connolly gives him a quick flash of the high beams, let him know I'm in a different class and I'm coming by. And now your race leader, Dayton Lowe, is going to have a lot of traffic to deal with, as he has both a GT3 and a GT1 just ahead of him. Brown tries his best to yield the line. He does so very cleanly. And then has a bit of a bobble afterwards. Not sure if he maybe overheated the tires there, locking it up, or what it may have been. As now Dayton Lowe is going to try and get around Jason Connolly, the leader of the GT1s. This is a whole lot of action, only 10 minutes into tonight's main event. Connolly goes wide to allow the LMP2 leader as well as overall leader down. Now I'm surprised that LMP2 didn't really stretch its legs on the start and finish line straight as much as I thought he'd be able to. I thought he would get around Connolly a little bit quicker, but that just shows how equal a lot of these cars are. But where the LMP2 is going to really shine here is in the tighter section of the racetrack, as now Lowe will get around Devin Scroggins. Scroggins yields the line to both Lowe as well as Connolly. And with how it shakes out and how fast these LMP2 drivers are, they have lapped most of the field. Now the Honda LMP2s, they're putting down about 46-second lap times at this stage of the race. The GT1s are clicking off 48s, and the fastest Daytona prototypes are clicking off 49s. Meanwhile, our GT3 drivers usually around the 51-second mark here. So as far as multi-class racing goes, pretty tight lap times amongst the entire crew. Lowe making his way around Mcallister. Mcallister, our fastest GT3 out on track. His last time by a 51.6. His fastest lap of the race was pretty much a 51 flat. Expecting these drivers to make their scheduled pit stop probably around the lap 30 to 35 mark is when I expect the fuel window to open. Right at the halfway mark of the race is when most drivers will come in and try and take full fuel. Not expecting to see many drivers come in for tires unless they have a big lockup and spin. Mcallister keeping his head down, clicking off laps. This is his race to lose. As man, oh man, look at the traffic that Mcallister is having to avoid. So I believe that was Carrington. I'm not quite sure. I think that was Connolly as well, the number 66. Yes, navigating through traffic. And Forsey involved in an incident. Not sure if Scroggins got into him or if that was maybe a self-involved collision. Let's take a quick look, as Forsey will most likely have some damage on that Daytona prototype. As we see what happened to Forsey in the number 74, just gets a bit of a wiggle there and sends it careening around. Scroggins able to get through nice and clean, and unfortunately fortunately, it looks like Forsey didn't take any damage. Might have cooked the tires some, but he'll get it pointed back in the right direction and back out on track here. Up front, it's still Dayton Lowe clicking off laps. He's got about a 15-second advantage over second place Jack Mundy. And man, he's got to have a lot of traffic to deal with as he swerves through Forsey, and I believe that will be, I think that's Brown in the number 45 machine. It is, yes. Dayton Lowe makes it 3 wide. Casey Carrington still running 7th overall after an early incident. Scroggins holding on to it in the Daytona prototype, running 2nd in class here today. But we're going to go back to your race leader, Dayton Lowe, who's had all sorts of company with traffic. As I believe that's going to be Lafferty, currently running 4th on track in the number 58 machine, about to go a lap down here. As yes, your overall race leader and class leader, Dayton Lowe, will look to the inside going into turn 1. He's got Scroggins just ahead of him as well, but he makes the overtake nice and clean. As we are not even to the halfway mark of today's event, and we've had all sorts of action. So now it is only, I believe, 3 drivers on the lead lap. Lowe, Mundy, and Fitzsimmons. Jason Connolly comes down pit road a little bit early. Maybe trying to go for a bit of an undercut to avoid traffic, and that's probably a safe move. Now these guys will differ their their fuel and tire strategy depending on what's going on in front of them. If you find yourself around 5 different fast-paced cars and not able to make any strides forward, it's usually a safe bet to come down pit road and maybe take an early stop so you can come out and get some clean track in front of you. That's also a very common move that you'll see in open practice sessions as well as open qualifying. Sometimes it's better to come in, talk to your pit, and then they'll send you back out when you have some clean track ahead of you. Connor Brown, he has an off track in the 45 machine. Doesn't appear that that Ford has too much damage on it. But how exciting must this be for your race leader, Dayton Lowe, having to cut through traffic, trying to keep that Honda LMP2 clean for the duration of this 45-minute feature event. Lowe with a massive gap over second place with Jack Mundy in tow. Mundy about 20 seconds back, running second in class, second overall. We've seen a whole lot of drivers marred with bad luck here today. As now it is only Lowe and Mundy on the lead lap officially, 2 drivers. As Fitzsimmons has taken his one stop of the race early on. He came in on lap 24, 25 for these drivers. Lowe keeping his head down, clicking off laps. He's only about 1/10 off of his fastest lap of the race. His fastest was a 44.75. And his last time by a 44.83, so not losing a whole lot of pace here. As now Lowe will come around Jason Connolly. Going to take it nice and easy and not make any gutsy moves here, as he knows he has the pace on the start-finish line straight to make a clean overtake. Not quite worth making that in the fast sweeping downhill section here at Lime Rock. And now Devin Scroggins going to get caught in a little bit tougher place. Scroggins sends himself out to Mars. He completely missed turn 1, bends it hard in the number 99 machine right as the race leader Dayton Lowe was coming by. Not sure if Scroggins was trying to push it too deep or maybe trying to yield the line too low. But he will take a little bit of damage on the front of that Daytona prototype here today. Oh, this has got to be exciting for Lowe. He's cutting through traffic. Fitzsimmons comes back down pit road, maybe getting some more repairs done on his machine, trying to get back out there, salvage some points. Now coming in today, it was actually Mcallister with the most amount of points starting the season, and he's in a GT3. And we've also got our team points in play here as well for Legacy Sports Cars. Rise Motorsports out front. You've got AFE SimSport second, Pinarchy third, Team Goon Squad fourth, Team Kamikaze fifth, and Race Hub running sixth out here today. So all these guys are out here battling for both their individual points as well as the team points. As, oh my, look at the traffic in front of Dayton Lowe. I counted 4 cars in front of him. I believe that's going to be Mcallister, the GT3, right in front of your race leader. It is, with his very unique painted Ferrari. Lowe gets through nice and easy. Now he's got Brown ahead of him in the number 45 GT3. As up ahead, I think Fitzsimmons has been in front of your race leader. Yes, he has. Brown goes through the uphill section of the tarmac to make way for the race leader. Lowe will put another lap on Fitzsimmons, who's having a rough go here at Lime Rock. And now I believe it'll be Forsey, the next driver that Lowe has to overtake, as he is very carefully navigating traffic at Lime Rock. We are past the halfway mark. As, oh no, Fitzsimmons, and I believe that could have been Brown. No, it was Forsey get into it. We're going to take a look at that incident and see what might have happened to Fitzsimmons, our Honda LMP2 driver who was involved in another incident. As we take a look at the instant replay here, you're watching Fitzsimmons in the number 6 Honda LMP2, and I believe that's going to be Forsey in the Daytona prototype as your race leader Dayton Lowe navigating traffic. Just not enough space here on the track as Forsey makes his setup for the turn. And where's the contact going to happen? Not sure if they made contact or maybe Fitzsimmons was just a little bit too wide there. Got a couple wheels on the grass. Didn't see any damage pop up on the left side of Forsey. So Forsey will get through clean. Fitzsimmons keeps it off the wall, but unfortunately another incident really striking Fitzsimmons hard here today at Lime Rock and just not able to put together the clean run that he was hoping for today. We take it back to your overall race leader as well as Honda LMP2 driver Dayton Lowe, who's kept it very clean here today. He's got a couple of off tracks, but so far keeping a nice clean Honda LMP2 out on track. We're going to cycle back, check on Jason Connolly, our current fastest GT1 driver. Connolly's last time by shows as a 49.21. His fastest of the race, a 48.47. Now Connolly has not come down pit lane yet, I believe here. No, I take that back. He came in a lap 19 for a stop, going for a bit of an undercut, as now he's going to get around Connor Brown in the GT3. So much respect amongst our drivers here at the Legacy Sports Car Series. The slower class cars doing his absolute best to keep it nice and clean, not having any issues. Connolly still running 7th overall here today. Connolly makes his way around Mcallister. Connor Brown, another driver, having a rough go here today in the number 45 machine. He's very strong early on the season at Daytona and at Sebring. Lime Rock was such a tight, difficult track, maybe giving him a bit of fits as Brown will come down pit road for the first time here today. Your race leader, Dayton Lowe, still has not pitted past the halfway mark, so he's going to stretch that fuel all the way out as long as he possibly can, maybe so he can shortstop his final stint and run the remainder of the race with the least amount of fuel possible. As now Mundy will come down pit road for the first time tonight. Your second place driver overall is second in class in the Honda LMP2s. Coming in on lap 36. And now Lowe will come down pit road for the first time here today. Throwing on the pit limiter. Let's see how long he's going to be in the pit lane for. Now it appears it's going to be Austin Lafferty and the number 58 machine, Jack Forsey and Gareth Mcallister, all have not taken their pit stops here today. Mundy was in the pit lane for about 42 seconds from start cones to end cones. So that will not be enough to get his lap back from Lowe, as Lowe is in and out very quickly. He was in his pit stall 6 seconds less than Mundy, and his total pit lane time about 36 seconds here today. So Lowe will return back on circuit. Still a full lap led. We're going to check back in on our friend Gareth Mcallister leading the GT3 class. Forsey also coming out of pit lane as well, the leader of the Daytona prototypes. So the pit cycles are really shaking out for these guys. How long are we going to see the likes of Austin Lafferty and Gareth Mcallister stretch out their fuel run? It appears Connor Brown, number 45 machine, may be retired, as he's been in his pit stall for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. As Mcallister, I believe that's going to be Casey Carrington, the number 9 machine, quickly making his way around the GT3 leader. Lafferty in the 58 also comes down pit road for his one and only stop of the race. About 15 minutes left in today's feature event. At his low, leading the LMP2s, Connolly in the GT1, your leader. Forsey leading the Daytona prototypes, and Mcallister on screen leading the GT3s here today. As we go back to Lowe, your race leader. Crossing the line, you got somebody blinking pretty heavily ahead of him there. It appears Mundy has worked his way back on the lead lap. No, that's incorrect. He's still 1 lap down. That is Fitzsimmons following Lowe. He's a lap down as well. But we're going to go on board for a lap with our GT3 class leader, Gareth Mcallister, and we're going to show you what a fast lap looks like in one of the slower class cars here at Lime Rock. And we're just going to let you listen to the engine noises for 1 lap here at Lime Rock. And that is a lap with Gareth Mcallister, your current GT3 leader. He's running 8th overall and showing what it takes. Smooth and consistent is what will bring home a championship here for the Legacy Sports Car Series. Austin Lafferty completes his pit as well in the number 58 machine. So right now it is just Mcallister who has not boxed yet. Very late into the race. He's going to try and come in late as possible, take the least amount of fuel, as I can't possibly imagine he can make this a no-stop race, even with his very comfortable lead over Connor Brown, who is still in pit lane, possibly retired. Carrington involved in an off-track. He's going to come back ahead of Devin Scroggins as well as Finley Fitzsimmons in the number 6 machine. I believe that's Fitzsimmons. Yes, it is. Fitzsimmons makes his way around Scroggins in the Daytona prototype without any issues. And now he will try and get around Carrington. Carrington running 5th in class here today. Now this battle you see on screen between Fitzsimmons and Carrington is not for position. Carrington is 2 laps down from Fitzsimmons, and Fitzsimmons is a lap down from the leader as Carrington pulls off track to allow Fitzsimmons through without any issues. As Dayton Lowe, a commanding lead out front. Still a full lap ahead of the field here today, kind of in a league of his own, as he's going to try and put Forsey another lap down, but he's got to be careful as this chicane a very difficult spot to make any passes. Really, this entire circuit here at Lime Rock, not particularly easy to make any passes. A nice mix of tight sections and then some fast sweeping right-handers coming out in the start-finish line. Lowe going to make his way around Mcallister. Again, Mcallister leading the GT3s, Lowe leading the overall as well as the Honda LMP2s here today at the Legacy Sports Car Series. Let's go back to Forsey. He had a whole lot of drivers around him. And now he's got Mcallister, your class leader for the GT3s, trying to catch up. Now Mcallister and Forsey are not on the same laps. Mcallister did complete his pit stop on lap 38, I believe. So everyone has boxed. We can run out the remaining 10 minutes here nice and clean. Mcallister taking the wide way around to allow everyone through nice and easy. I believe that may have been Lafferty. Yes, it was Lafferty and not quite sure who that was. Mundy maybe? Yes, Lafferty and Mundy. Mundy running second overall, second in class. Casey Carrington comes back down pit road. He's going to make his way back out on, he's on lap 43, so a few laps down from your race leader, Dayton Lowe. As Monday is just watching Lafferty cut through traffic here. It's going to be nice and close with the Daytona prototype of Forsey. Forsey not a position he wants to be in with two LMP2 drivers making their way around in the chicane. This circuit is so tight, it's very tough to make any moves. As Mundy knows he's comfortably in second. He's about a minute back from Dayton Lowe, so no pressure to try and make his way around Fitzsimmons. And the last thing he wants is to risk his car this late into the race with traffic that is not on the same lap or for position. Mundy's last time by a 48.25. I believe that could be with the traffic that he was having to face with, having to check up heavily when they're going 2-3 wide on a circuit that is extremely tight. Now let's check on Fitzsimmons as well. He's only about 18 seconds back from Mundy and closing fast. His last time by, he was about 7/10 faster than Mundy in the number 14 machine. Dipping a couple wheels into the dirt through the chicane. He will get around Carrington in the number 9 LMP2. And now he will catch up to Mcallister, the race leader for GT3s. Mcallister hugs the inside line. He Tokyo drifts it just ever so slightly. And now Fitzsimmons and Carrington are both going to get around Mcallister as well as Scroggins. It's going to be nice and close going into turn 1. Everybody either on different laps or different classes here. Fitzsimmons going side by side with Scroggins. Scroggins trying to give him the line, but it's so tough on this tight section of the circuit. Carrington able to get through traffic a little bit cleaner, but unfortunately he's still down, I believe, 1 lap, if not 2 from Fitzsimmons. So everybody gonna get through nice and easy. But Fitzsimmons trying to hot lap in the closing 6 minutes of this race, doing his absolute best to try and catch up to second place Jack Mundy. Still about 18 seconds separating Fitzsimmons from Mundy. Now that last time by, Fitzsimmons with a 48.08, Mundy with a 47.1. As Fitzsimmons will do his best to quickly get around Carrington, possibly even using Carrington for a draft here. It's all going to depend on which of the 2 drivers is a little bit faster. If Carrington has the pace, then Fitzsimmons may follow in tow, because he knows Carrington was fast, but he had those early problems. Jack Mundy, though, goes off track and has a big bobble in the number 14, the second place driver of the Honda LMP2s. That is going to allow Fitzsimmons a lot of time to gain here, as Fitzsimmons gains almost 4 seconds with Mundy having that incident. As Fitzsimmons is getting close very quickly, he's within 7.5 seconds of second place overall and second in class Jack Mundy. As we may have a race developing for that second place spot for the overall as well as Honda LMP2s here today. Mundy and Fitzsimmons both on the same lap together. Fitzsimmons finding some time whittling away at that 6.5 second advantage that Mundy has just at the top of your screen. You saw Fitzsimmons very briefly, so he may be able to start seeing Mundy here, and that might give him a carrot to chase, as Fitzsimmons is going to drive the wheels off that number 6 machine to try and get another spot here today. Mundy talking to his pit crew and his spotter, knowing that Fitzsimmons is coming. Monday's last time by, a 48.21. Fitzsimmons with a 46.97, so over a second faster lap time from Fitzsimmons late into the race. Less than 4 minutes left to go for our drivers. Last time by, Mundy with a 47.6, Fitzsimmons with a 46.59. Fitzsimmons has whittled away to the gap to less than 4 seconds here. Will Mundy be able to hold on to it, or is Fitzsimmons going to find some pace late in the race? Now Mundy came in a lap 35, Fitzsimmons came in a lap 27. And how much more fuel does Mundy have late into this run? Did he fill it all the way up? He was in his pit stall for 18 seconds. Fitzsimmons only in his stall for 12.5. If Fitzsimmons was able to put less fuel in the car with just enough to make it to the end, he should be able to put down average lap times faster. Mundy with a 47.8, Fitzsimmons with a 46.5. Fitzsimmons is coming fast in the number 6 Honda LMP2. Lowe still leading the Honda LMP2s. Connolly leading the GT1s. Forsey, our current class leader for the Daytona prototypes. And Mcallister, the world-famous Aussie, is winning the GT3 class late into the race. But we're going to watch the battle for second overall shake up as Fitzsimmons is driving the wheels off that LMP2. Now it is less than a 1.8 second gap between Fitzsimmons and Mundy. This in the closing laps will be the battle for second overall. Fitzsimmons sees his target ahead of him as he was 1.6 seconds faster than Mundy that last time by. Not sure if Mundy is driving with some damage on that LMP2. As we've got less than a minute of the race here today, here comes Mundy. He has a big blink in front of Fitzsimmons. Can Jack Mundy hold on to the number 14 machine, or Fitzsimmons be able to capitalize late in the race to try and pick up one more spot? Mundy throws a block. The white flag is out. The checker will fly this next time by. There's going to be traffic to contend with. Mundy on the inside. Fitzsimmons on the outside. Going into turn one, they've got Connolly ahead of them, and I believe that may be Lafferty as well, number 58 machine. Who's going to cut through traffic the best here as they're still nose to the tail? A bit of a lockup, as I believe that's going to be Lafferty doing his best to allow the second and third place LMP2 drivers to make their way through. And now they're going to have Scroggins. Scroggins holds the inside line to allow these LMP2 drivers to duke it out. And that, I believe, is going to be the race. As no, the checker will fly for Dayton Lowe going into turn one. He's going to be your overall race leader. Fitzsimmons and Mundy are going to battle all the way back to the start-finish line. Mcallister can do his best to allow the LMP2 drivers by. Fitzsimmons will pick up a second place here, getting by Jack Mundy late in the race. What a race here today, ladies and gentlemen. So that will put Dayton Lowe on the top spot in the LMP2 as well as the overall race leader, with Connolly winning the GT1 class, Forsey winning the Daytona prototypes, and Mcallister bringing home another win in the GT3s here today. A great race from all of our competitors in this 45-minute feature event. But it'll be Dayton Lowe, Finley Fitzsimmons, Jack Mundy, your top three drivers here today. And absolutely great racing all the way around, as Dayton Lowe is going to burn it down in style in the number 5 Honda LMP2, picking up a win here today at the Legacy Sports Car Series. As always, on behalf of the Legacy Sports Car Series, Ledford Construction, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting your favorite drivers, your favorite league, and your favorite broadcaster. We greatly appreciate the time we get to spend together, and just thank you all so much to our fans, friends, and family that tune in every week and supporting us. And we'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.